Welcome back to the Gentleman Ultras paper review on YouTube. I am Richard Hall as always, and we're just looking through the papers today after Italy last night was successful in beating Northern Ireland. It's obviously the main topic of conversation, as it would be, about the Azzurri and how they performed. You can see here in Gazzetta dello Sport, the headline leads, Italy keep going like that, and why shouldn't they? The really interesting front line there, especially with Berardi, Insigne, and Immobile. Immobile, of course, who hadn't scored since February. I think around the 7th of February, got a goal last night, and that was very important for him. That was very much talked about in both Gazzetta and obviously the Corriere dello Sport. Corriere dello Sport, that is the Italy that works. And Immobile in particular says, that was a weight off my shoulders, and I dedicated to Daniel. Of course, the Lazio player who tragically died this week. Massive goal, I think, not just for Lazio, but for Italy as well. Immobile back on form is exactly what they need, especially with a couple of games coming up, as we know. So obviously the win in Parma there, the 2-0 win over Northern Ireland, it was fairly comprehensive. Some really good performances, and the papers are happy with it. I mean, Tutto Sport, as you can see here, Fratelli d'Italia, obviously talking about the game in Parma again. Mancini said it was an excellent first half, but wasn't so happy with the second half. Said that it was a bit disappointing in that way. But still, there's games to come, and Italy can move forward in confidence. Now, the papers really are dominated by this, because they were looking at, in Gazzetta, really going into the detail in Berardi, saying that Domenico Berardi, the Sassuolo player, of course, had an absolute masterclass. And again, Mancini said that it was his contribution that actually gave almost a perfect first half for the Italians. Great to see the national anthem last night again. I mean, nobody does it like the Italians. It was always, even though it's a game against Northern Ireland, it's not the biggest of events. I think it just really, it's one of the Azzurri is one of the very few things that does actually manage to bring Italy together from all different regions. Also here, talking about the international break, there was also talk of Lukaku, obviously Belgium doing well last night, and another penalty for Lukaku, and they're saying there's nobody like him in Gazzetta dello Sport. 18 penalties out of 18. That's some record. So it's quite an interesting one there. Obviously, there's still talk of Juventus, and the fact that that even now there's still talk of Juventus in the papers, that they're going to play Torino in the Derby delle Mole, 2016 centenary shirt, by the way, and that's going to be an interesting one at the back of this when it all come out. Also talk of Belotti. Obviously, maybe if Torino do end up in trouble, maybe where's he going to go next season? That's in Tutto Sport, as you would expect. Also, a lot of talk again about Monday, the TV rights for 2020-21, that goes to 2024. Is it going to be DAZN, or is it going to be Sky Italia, or maybe even a mix? 14 clubs need to vote and to get the decision over the line. At the moment, they've had 11. There's been clubs that's abstaining. The biggest talking points here is the fact of, does Italy have the infrastructure to be able to have DAZN? So, for instance, can they deal with the way that they want to stream the football in places like Perugia and Calabria? It's a bit of a dead argument, in my opinion, because they need to modernise, need to move on. People are worried about how they're going to consume it if it's not on Sky Italia, and the clubs are abstaining. Interestingly, look at the clubs with foreign owners. If you take Roma aside, Inter, Milan, Juve, all going down the way of the DAZN. Some of the other clubs, not so much. It's 850 million for DAZN, it's 750 million for Sky Sport Italia. Not a massive difference, but it's important, not just on the money, but in the way people consume football, the way the product is provided. And so this is a big talking point in Italy. I think Monday we're going to see a lot of that in the papers. It's really interesting that this topic has not dominated the headlines, but just been there all the time. It needs sorting out. That deadline on Monday can't go back again, although it's Italy, it probably will. But it's really important that it gets sorted. I think that when you look at this, if Italy can have a product that it can stream and produce something that is marketable by an outside source, it's more important, because then it's easier to sell to the outside world. The likes we've just seen it go in the American market, That deal's been concluded. We've not seen what's going to happen in the rest of Europe yet. Serie A and how it's marketed, how it's sold is vitally important for this league, vitally important for how it's going to be consumed by the public, not just in Italy but in the rest of the world. That product then, it needs to see, it's a bigger issue that goes into stadiums, which we won't do here, but we'll just finish up with the papers. But really watch out for that one on Monday. I think that's going to be really, really interesting. They always touch on Ibrahimovic. Why not? He's a big character. He made his return for Sweden. Gazzetta dello Sport, I said, gave a great return after 5 years, an assist and a class act. They beat Georgia 1-0. Finally, there's talk here in excuse me, about Lazio, that there may be Lazio concerned. Lazio face a trial for swabs. The sentence is expected today, and Tutto Sport also, they're also talking again. We mentioned it a little bit before about the situation with Ibrahimovic, but they just said that he was incredibly impressive against Georgia. So that pretty much concludes the headlines. A good win for Italy, and I think that there's going to be quite a lot more in the headlines over the next couple of days with that. So for me, it's ciao for now.